you have a lot of them, what they'll do is they'll cite Malcolm X. They'll say, by any means necessary. They'll cite him. And I'm like, did you listen to the other stuff he said? Because if he were alive today saying the same things he was saying back then, now y'all would call him a COON. You know, because as much as they want to say like, oh, black on black crime isn't a real thing. And I agree, crime is crime. But if we want to say that Black Lives Matter, guess what? It matters if we're taking our own lives as well. It doesn't just matter when the white man does it. No, it matters across the board if Black Lives Matter. So, you know, if you go back and you watch some of his interviews, he's brought up, right? He was talking specifically about building a hospital. And he was like, yeah, we need a hospital because we got a lot of sick folks. And we also do a lot of cutting and stabbing of each other, a lot of shooting and stabbing of each other.
In Harlem, we need a hospital more so than anything else. Our people are sick. Plus, we do a lot of cutting and shooting of each other, though we profess to be nonviolent.
So even he was acknowledging that there was a cancer within the Black society, within the Black community, and it needed to be dealt with. And acknowledging that point alone, acknowledging that Black people have problems that need to be fixed, that gives you a one-way ticket into Coonville, according to modern day pro-Blacks. And it's just like, y'all talk about Malcolm X, this, that, and the third. Y'all would call him a COON if he was still alive, saying the same things he was saying then now. And that's the part that is so irritating.
But it's shout out. I'm sorry, but it's only the one-liners. You know what I mean? Because I was made to read Malcolm X when I was a child because my mother made me read, and I was a reader because of it. So it's like you pick and choose what you want, and or you'll go watch the movie. But maybe if you go and read the book or read something to get a different knowledge than what somebody else thinks and what they're saying and following them, then maybe we could have some better perspective and some perspectives and better results as well. Because there's a lot of being led around here and a lot of allowing someone to lead you. And like I always say, then you get the banana in the tailpipe and then y'all acting like, oh my God, I can't believe this. Or the Lucy with the football with Charlie Dan Brown. And it's like, but y'all keep falling for the same thing over and over again, especially after 2020. Then I stopped. And y'all got what? Juneteenth. That's fine. I didn't even know Juneteenth was a thing, child, until after 2020 anyway. Sorry, I didn't know. So then you get Juneteenth and you get all these statues taken down. So where are we at now? So you got the police that's still, you know, that's what they're saying anyway. Still taking out Black people every day. Somebody just said that the other day. But the police are taking Black people out every day. And that's the Black fatigue and the trauma that we live through every day because it's so hard being Black because we got to deal with the police every day. I don't deal with the police and child. They be pulling me over, even though I've slowed down. So they be pulling me over. And I'm like, you know, just give me the damn ticket. Because what I'm going to do, argue with you because I know what I was doing was wrong. Do we ever do anything wrong? And can we acknowledge it? And maybe that would be a little bit more helpful. And I'm always asking, where the hell is Black Lives Matter? Specifically, when I'm thinking, the first thing that comes to my mind is what happened in Chicago with that mother and her children. I still don't think I've seen them. I ain't seen the National Urban League, the NAACP, none of them. Ben Crump, nobody. But as soon as, God forbid, any white policeman does something or any white person at all, y'all gonna be right around there. And that's the same thing. Wash, rinse, repeat every single time. So we're not important enough when we are hurting from whatever happens by way of someone that looks like us. We're not important at that point. Not at all. No way, no how, no nada, no nothing. But let a white person who we not supposed to care about, who's a racist, ain't got shit to do with us, downtrodden us, keeping us down, then all of a sudden that's the only time that we're supposed to care. So damn all those other Black people that are on up out of here. Damn them. Unless a white person does it. I'm sick of that narrative.
Exactly. That's because it's not built on an actual principle. And see, this is something that I say across the board to everybody because it is a principle of mine. If you say you believe in something, then it shouldn't matter who it's happening to, when it's happening. You should stand firm in that belief, right? If I'm going to say that I value accountability, then I'm going to have that across the board. I'm going to have accountability for myself. I'm going to have accountability for the people in my life. I'm going to have accountability for the people I interact with. So it's like, if you truly have a principle that Black lives matter, then you're going to care whenever Black lives are lost. Okay. Especially if it's not just like, died of old age or just like a car accident or something like that. But when lives are taken, you would care. You would be out there trying to figure out what happened, trying to get justice. You would care. But no, if you're only applying it when a white person is involved, then you don't actually have that principle, and you can miss me with all the boohoo nonsense. I don't care.
I agree.
But shout out to Swan Daily. Thank you so much for the $2 super. You said Charlemagne is fake for not calling out Joe Biden. I love the way you say Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
Shout out to Swan Daily. Thank you so much. And then also Woke Quill. Thank you so much for the $10 super. You said white liberals who've been posing as our friends have failed us. Once we see that all of these other sources to which we've turned have failed, we stop turning to them and turn to ourselves. Malcolm X, facts. He's been on the white liberals for quite some time. And then thank you so much, live from NYC, for the $20. Well, it's just a smiley face. So thank you for the smiley face. And then one more. I scrolled right past it. Mark Kendall, thank you so much for the $2 super. You said, can we replace black fatigue with ratchet fatigue? Yeah, ghetto fatigue. Yeah, I agree. But once it's in the lingo, more times than not, it's just going to be that. And the fact that we're not willing to acknowledge, the different issues, it gives them a way to say, well, all of them agree with it. So then they feel justified in saying black fatigue, because if you are not outwardly saying that you disagree with the general behavior of our ratchets because they're the face, the sexy reds, all of this, if you're not outwardly saying that you disagree with it, then that means you're accepting of it. That means you are supportive of it because you're not giving any pushback to it. So that's how they're able to say, oh, well, this is black culture, because we don't get out there and say, yeah, we don't agree with this. This isn't black culture. I don't agree with this. You have, and this is the part that really gets me. You will have black folks out here that do not live like Sexy Red. They do not. They would never, they will get out here and they are upstanding black people. They do everything right. They have the American dream. And you know what they're out here caping for? Some ratchet shit. They're the ones out here saying, well, you can't talk about Sexy Red. Well, you can't talk about this, that, and the third. Well, you should let them walk outside their house in a bonnet. Why are you saying anything? I'm like, would you walk outside your house in a bonnet? Well, no, I wouldn't. But then why are you promoting something that you yourself wouldn't even do?
Girl, I haven't even
defending it.
I'm going to get a bonnet and I'm going to wear it on the show. So I haven't been down to the Chinese store, but I'm going to do it because I think that's one of the most stupidest things in the world. And instead of progressing, it's like we're regressing with so many things. And then we'll say that, who owns the record stores? Who owns the, whatever? Everything's owned by white people, the Jays, whatever you want to call it, right? And it's like, that doesn't mean that you still have to play in the sand. You don't have to do it. And if we know this, because I'm like, haven't we watched all the behind the musics and the, all those specials about the music industry, the acting industry, and all these industries and what they do and how they tend to make us look in order to sell stuff to other people. But people want the fame so badly that you're willing to go ahead and compromise and go ahead and do it. But then everyone is supposed to support it. Now, I'm not going to act like we ain't never had no ratchet ass people when I was younger, because that's when because I was pro-black when I was younger too, like Blackity Black, Public Enemy, everything, all that. Okay. But then, NWA, which was a problem at the time, but even though they were out, and I like them just fine and still do, it didn't have me out there, GANG banging, out there cursing people out and just wilding as far as the police. I mean, I sang the songs, of course, but I wasn't out there wilding, right? There's a difference between enjoying the content like this and then acting it out. And unfortunately, too many people today seem to be influenced by the act out, because Lil' Kim came out when I was 18 or 19. And we could see what it was. When I saw that cover of her bent down or whatever it was, even I was like, oh my God, I promise you. And I'm 18, 19. I was like, oh my God. But I like that music, but let me tell you what I didn't do. Start dressing like Lil' Kim, start acting like Lil' Kim, start going out there doing stuff like Lil' Kim. I ain't do none of that. So I just feel like even though we did have it, Foxy Brown and any of the other ones that I missed, y'all, we weren't going out there imitating them, mimicking them, acting like them from that perspective. Singing it, we were. Going to the concerts, absolutely. But when it was over, it was over. And then it was time to get back to normal, time to go, to school and not try to become a Little Kim, not trying to become a Foxy Brown. We weren't trying to become there, none of that. Most people, I'm not saying everybody, but most people were not trying to become all that stuff. Now everybody wants to be a child NBA, whichever one they are, and all these other people. They got 10 kids, 15 baby mamas lined up behind them, and this is all kid you don't know with orange hair, purple hair, talking about this is okay and acceptable. Is it? Okay, cool. Then let it be acceptable. Can't get ass in and go get a job somewhere with all that bullshit going on. That's why, in my opinion, I feel like people don't want to. Girl, like Blueface can have them tattoos. He look like an absolute idiot, in my opinion. He can have them tattoos. What the hell? This is amazing. That's his genre, what he does. He ain't going to get no job. The rest of y'all jackasses, you gotta work. You gotta go work somewhere. I'm gonna just open a business. All right, cool. I'll go open a business. But if you look like that, you come to me, you think I'm patronizing you looking like that, I'm still not gonna be able to do it. But I'm old. What the hell do I know? I don't know. So I feel like that's a difference. And we most certain, Bill Cosby back then was telling people, telling dudes, pull up your pants, present yourself properly, put your shirt inside of your pants and wear a belt, all that stuff. He got hella heat for all that type of stuff. He was right. He was absolutely right with all that stuff that he used to say. And then Felicia Rashad, when she just came out not too long ago, and then you want to go at Felicia Rashad of all people, to me, that shows no freaking respect at all. If you're going to go at her like that, just because she's saying something that's right at the end of the day and is true, but you don't even have enough respect for her just to be like, all right, auntie, we just going to let that go. I might not agree with you, but we're not going to go and attack you. The list can go on and on and on, because I was just watching some Iyanla and they attacked her and got her off the daggone TV. And it's like, just because she's telling y'all what the truth is, Negroes don't like the truth. I don't care. You ain't gotta like what I'm saying. I'm saying it. Fuck y'all, okay? Not y'all, you know what I'm saying. But I'm over that bullshit of we gotta accept ratchet. No, you can't tell me what to do. These people think that I can't say what I want, but they can say whatever they want to me. It don't work that way. If you can say whatever you want, then I can say whatever the fuck I want. And I'm going to need y'all to recognize and realize that you're basically hypocrites saying that shit. You run nothing. You run yourself and run them bastards, gremlins. And when you get them under control, holla at me after that, because I'm about sick of all of them too. No, I've been sick of all of them. For real.
That is a word right there. It's absolutely insane how you could tell Black folks like, hey, we should do something, insert anything positive. And it's just that outrage that you will hear. But the moment it's pushing something degenerate, then it's just crickets, or it's applause. And it's absolutely insane to me. And what's crazy is I remember growing up, we had a lot of pushback for stereotypes, right? We did not like the idea of stereotypes. We were like, we don't like the representation of a stereotype. But fast forward to where we're at now, and if you point someone out for behaving like a stereotype, the rest of these pro-Blacks will attack you and say that you're playing to white stereotypes. Wait, hold up. This person is literally behaving like the stereotype. Are you mad at me? I'm the one playing to white stereotypes, not the person that's over here doing everything that they put as the angry Black woman, ghetto, ratchet, got the whole package. You're saying that I'm the one playing to the stereotype, not the person that literally looks like, behaves like, conducts themselves like a stereotype. That's why I say a lot of it is just ass backwards in our community. And the sad part about it is, and I get so frustrated on this topic. When we talk about, the history of like slavery, Jim Crow, all of that, I'm not ever going to be a denier that stuff was terrible, right? You know, I'm one of the first people to let people know, like, even the field of gynecology has a deep-rooted history in slavery. A lot of Black women were operated on, tested on, Black babies. They were, you know, mutilated and killed, all for the sake of developing the practice of gynecology. So even with the history of that, it's already extremely disgusting. So I'm never going to be one to downplay it. But what I will not do is allow other Black people to use that history as a crutch for why they ain't shit today. Okay, what you're not going to do is deflect to and essentially bastardize it, because the more, and this is the part people don't realize, the more you, slavery, the more you do that, you desensitize people to that history. At a certain point, people are not going to give a fuck. They're not going to care. So as much as you guys will say, like, oh, well, y'all are attacking me for the bonnet, it's because of white supremacy and slavery and all sorts of stuff. Guess what? You have watered down the history of slavery. You have watered down the impact. So when we do want to bring up something that is related to slavery, that is still connected to today and today's day and age, you've poisoned the well. We can no longer have those conversations because you've turned it into a buzzword. So even if I wanted to have an honest conversation about things, the moment I say slavery, you know, everybody's going to remove their brain and they're going to think, oh, you just on that woke bullshit. And it's like, no, this is literal history that we can talk about, and we can talk about the implications and all of that. But because we want to deflect to it, whenever we're doing something we know damn well we shouldn't be doing, whenever we want to deflect to that and use it as a crutch, well, I can't do this because of slavery, I can't do that because of slavery. You water it down. You water it down and you desensitize everybody to the topic, to the history, all of that. And that's the part that really pisses me off.
That's what I said was going on with the word racism, where people just use everything as racism. And the time that it just jumped out at me was about 2 years ago when somebody was going down in New York. Some white man pulled some woman's wig off, and she was like, "That's racism." I said, "That's dummism, but I don't think that it's racism." I'm like, "It's assholism, but I don't think that it's racism." And then everybody started talking about it's racist. So then from that point on, it's like every time anybody does anything, it happens to be a white and a Black person, it's racism. I'm like, y'all, everything is not racism just because it happens to be a white person. You continue to do this, you're gonna what did you just say? Deteriorate the word. Water it down. Water it down. Thank you. You water down the word, and then soon it's not going to mean anything to anyone, especially white people. And then I was in an airport some time ago, and a white man had a shirt on that said, what is it? Black Lives Matter. He had a shirt on that said White Lives Matter. And I was just looking at him like, I said it was going to happen. I said it was going to happen, but nobody seemed to believe me. And then it turns into Kanye ended up doing it with Candace Owens or whatever. Yeah. And then I've seen a couple of things since then. And now to the point where they're just outwardly saying, child, we don't give a damn. And that's what's happening now, which is why you have Lily Gaddis over here in blackface for Halloween. You got Pearl over here now talking about her and her Black fatigue. And, you know, I'm not saying that they're not responsible for what it is that they're doing, because that first heifer is demonetized. But I'm pretty sure that her people support her, allegedly, child, allegedly. So I'm sure her people support her. But it's like that is something where it's like maybe we should have went at her on that, because at this point I'm like, well, what the hell? Y'all saying everything is racist. So what I'm supposed to do? Be upset every day, every 15 minutes because something happens? I don't have time for that. Y'all got this. The 90s is done. Shout out to Coach Greg Adams, because y'all don't want to hear nothing that might make sense and might help the situation, not even necessarily with regard to racism, but just to make your life easier, to make you more financially fit, to make you more fun, have more financial literacy. You don't want to hear it because it's Dave Ramsey, he's racist. It's Susie Ormond, she's racist. And then it's Melody Hobbs, and y'all ain't got nothing to say because she's Black. Any excuse.
Thank you so much, Mary, for the $10 super. You said older Blacks have fought so hard to undo the negative stereotypes for several decades, only to have it unravel today. Ain't that the truth? They call it what they call it is respectability politics, right? They say, oh, you're playing into respectability politics as if there's something wrong with being respectable.
I was gonna say, what the hell is wrong with being respectable? My bad.
Yeah, anytime you make a video talking about the image of Black folks and how we need to clean up our well, you're just playing into respectability politics. That's not going to stop them from being racist towards us. And I'm just like, first of all, that is loser behavior. The moment you have this mindset of, well, even if I do it, this could still happen to me, you're a loser. Okay, you're a loser and you're not operating within reality. There is nothing in life outside of dying that is a guarantee. Okay, you could do everything right and not get the results that you look for, but guess what? Your chances were better.
Right.
It's just like they want to justify being losers and justify not putting in the work or not putting any effort. They want to justify leaving their house any old kind of way. I don't know if you saw that video of the woman and she had her she had that pink nightgown on. She was walking her dog.
Yes, you did that video. Yes.
And she
girl
just leaving her house, not giving a whole damn. Like, it's dams in the room with us. She did not give a damn about anything. And you have people defending it, saying, well, you're just playing in respectability politics. It doesn't matter how she leaves her home. Well, guess what? You never know what could happen when you leave your house. You could run into somebody that could put you on the path to getting some money, to getting, where you want in life. You never effing know. Even, and this is an example. I remember Tyra Banks, she had her show. There was one contestant that they literally just plucked out the mall. She was walking to the mall, and they just plucked her out the mall. And if she had showed up looking a damn mess, guess what? She wouldn't have been on the show. So it's like, you never know what opportunities you're about to run into when you leave your house. Wouldn't you want to set yourself up for the best odds? It's like they want to guarantee, or else they just won't try. And like I said, that's just straight up loser behavior.